The thesis is about the sustainable levels of social resources. And what they mean by that is an adaptive approach to water management. It will mean that you and I in this room, who are the gurus in the water in this country, are finding that we need a whole lot of other people who are in different levels of society who can help us to bring about a change in the way in which the resource is being used. And it's only through that Olsen and Turton will say that the deficit and that this natural resource reconstruction by mobilizing this adaptive capacity is going to actually work. So just to give you a quick example. When we look at houses in some of the parts of Cape Town, in the wealthier, leafy suburbs, and when we see that their water consumption ranges between 40 and 60,000 litres a month, I wonder what people are doing with that water. And when I go down to places like Khayelitsha and other informal settlements, and I see people living on less than 25 litres per person per day, I wonder what's going on and how the social adaptive capacity has got to be stretched to the middle at least and further, so that we can actually adapt in a way that enables society to be able to function without conflict. Because that's really what we're talking about. And then the last zone on the bottom right-hand side is this adapting to scarcity. We're a water-scarce country, and we need to know how to do that. And I'll come back to a point on that a little bit later. I'm interested in that question mark at the top there. How do we do that? What kind of skills are required by our students, and I'm going to really speak from a perspective of an academic in tertiary education. How do we address that? This little chart was published as a scenario, I suppose, in a paper that I and Raymond Sibritz and Ingrid Jacobs did a little while ago, and it looks at the very similar idea to what Olsen and Turton paper was doing. It's showing a bit of the history of water resource management as far as, not management, but as research has been taking place in this country. On the left-hand side, and this is taken from academic articles, from the what we call a scientometric method, extracting key concepts from all of the papers that have been published in the South African research literature. And on the left-hand side, you'll see relative significance. And there's no, again, scale to that. But in the higher part and the lower part, we see a change in the way in which we've shifted as far as research is concerned. If you look to the left-hand side, there's a line there which begins more or less at the words called higher. And from 1980, and remember the Water Research Commission was established in 1971, and it took a little while for publications to come out. And then these are largely some of our publications that are reflected here under Water SA, for instance. And as people like Desig and Naidu would say, the researchers in this country punch well above their rate compared to the rest of the world. 19th in terms of their ranking worldwide in terms of the publications that the researchers are producing. But you'll see if you follow that arrow all the way through down to the keywords that dominated in that earlier period, with things like irrigation, ponds, control of sludge industry, soils, engineering, science, biology, and so forth. But look what's happened subsequently, and it gives me some comfort that we're starting to see a new emerging population of research and researchers in that population. You look at the keywords that are now beginning to dominate in the 2010 onwards, and we finished the research somewhere around about 2013. But now you're seeing the words sustainable, social, community, demand management, integration, institutional, governance, planning, urban, development, complex, adaptation. There's a new mix out there, isn't there? And it doesn't at all discount, and the very point was made earlier on this morning as well, it doesn't discount the technologies, the engineers, those that have the ability to be able to put this infrastructure in place. What it is saying is that this water space is changing, and that our role as academics and in an institution of higher learning is to find ways to work with a whole new set of disciplines. and how we couch those disciplines is equally important. And this is how I see the skills development. On the right-hand side, in those sort of purples and blues there, we see at the very top right-hand segment there is the science and art of data collection. And that's changing enormously right now. Right now I have 4 students working on a site in Franschhoek, and if I pick up my app in my phone right now, I can know from what the work that they're doing, I know what the height of that water is, their level sensors in that. Every 6 minutes, the water level is put onto our website, and I can see it. I can see also from their work that I know about the pH, the temperature, the electrical conductivity, the dissolved oxygen, the salinity in the water, every 11 minutes. That's back up onto the website. That's how the technology is changing. And of course, that only gives us some element of high resolution continuous data monitoring. And those sensors are being developed worldwide all the time. The next thing that is out there is a phosphate, ammonia, and nitrite and nitrate sensors that are now electronic. We build in our own machines, we build in our own electronics, and the students are having a lot of fun. They don't come from electrical engineering, by the way. They are talking to electrical engineers, but they've learned how to solder, put things on boards, and work with websites. They're environmental science students who've got a real desire to actually learn.